Hi friends, good morning. We're going to do a read and we're going to do our makeup together. Well, not that boys do their makeup, but okay. So the first card coming out is the Resistance card in the reverse. And I feel like some of you guys are starting to learn the different reasons and benefits for why giving up control over the way things have been in your life, like how it will benefit you and the positive outcome that it will bring. I know that some of you guys are starting to feel real nervous. You guys can feel a feeling of change entering your life. But I want you to channel in and ask yourself, like, is it really anxiety that you're feeling, or is it excitement? Because, when we come from a place of struggle and poverty and fear and neglect and abandonment, all these horrible things, we don't actually know what love, excitement, and joy and comfort feels like. So no matter what your body is experiencing that is new, it's going to kind of come off in the same way. The brain and the body doesn't actually register things as good or bad until you agree to it. And I see that you have the Feel Safe card in the reverse, and you also have the Abundance card in the reverse. So there's a big part of you that still carries a belief system that you are not safe and that you don't and won't have abundance in your life. And what you need to understand when it comes to manifestation is that our thoughts are the beginning of it. So if you're somebody who is thinking in lack, then that's what you will receive. At this time in your life, depending on your thought process and your positivity versus your negativity, everything is in manifestation mode at all times. But for you personally right now, you have a divine gateway available to you. We talked last night about the dark night of the soul, which is also a divine. It's a calling from the divine to reconstruct your guys' lives. And in order to do that, you're going to have to give up everything that is in it right now. And the way that I like to think about it is, if you guys were going to buy a brand new house and move all your stuff in, how would you feel if when you got there, all the other people's stuff was still left in the living room? And when you got in to unpack your new stuff, all this old stuff was still there. You'd be frustrated, right? You'd be like, there's no room for this. Where am I supposed to put this? Like, do I even have a space in this house at all that's for my stuff? That's how life is. It's the same dang way. And what we do, instead of what we need to do, is we collect all these different things, all these different people. We don't resolve our problems. We think we're stuffing them down. We think we're moving forward. We think it's in the past. Whatever we tell ourselves. But the truth is that whatever it is that we say, we think, is something that we're thinking about. And our mouth is just saying the words of what we're going to do to deal with it, because that's coming from the ego. The body doesn't continue to repeat things that don't matter to it. That's why people that have Alzheimer's go out talking about certain different things. The people, a lot of times that get Alzheimer's go out talking about the traumas or the things that were most important in their life. Some of them are happy and some of them are sad. I see it all the time in customer service. I always wonder, what's going to be on my mind when it happens to me. You're very resilient. And for those of you who don't know what resilient means, it means that you're able to bounce back after every situation. You're the comeback kid. Very strong, very independent, and you rely on yourself. But something that you've done over time, which is a negative thing, is you stop believing or even asking other people for help or allowing them close to you. You're very hurt and you're very wounded. And I am too. But we got to get to the point where you're comfortable telling your story and not feeling shame and guilt over it. You got to get to the bottom of the feelings that you're feeling, because anger is not it. I know sometimes we think we're angry at people. But when you start to learn about law of attraction, which is we attract how we feel inside. So you got to think about it. If you think about your ex, if you think about your childhood and the damages that were done to you, and if you sit there and you think about all the negative stuff in your life that makes you sad from the past, then that's what the person that you're dating is doing too. They're also thinking about an ex. They also haven't recovered from childhood trauma. They also have secrets. If you have a secret, you can bet your butt your partner has a secret. We attract what we are. We're connected by energy waves. And that just really opened my eyes a lot to know that. I thought, dang, in all reality, when I'm feeling blue, I know the things that I do. I know the things that I say to get people to leave me alone and whatever the heck it is, you know what I mean? We know what we do. And that's enough, because as long as you know it, you're thinking it, and you're manifesting it at all times. So every time you're thinking about anything negative, just be aware that you're putting energy out there, and you're making contact with other people that feel the same way. That's why you're doing circles over and over in your life. That's why every relationship in your life just seems like it's kind of repetitive and going nowhere. That's why some of you guys are not married yet, because you're just looking. You're looking too often, too much, too fast, all the time. You think that by going to the next thing sometimes, or ignoring all the things that have ever hurt you, is what is going to make you feel better, because you notice those things actually make you feel something, and most of the time you don't feel anything. Now, the good thing about the fact that things can hurt us so deeply is that it also lets you know that you're alive inside, and that you have a spirit, and you have a soul, you have a heart. You're actually a good person if you can feel pain. There are people out there that don't. And I know sometimes it can come off as a weakness to actually feel guilt and shame for the things that we've done. But it's not. It's growth. Before this, we were in denial. We were blaming people. But regardless if anybody knows what we really think down deep inside, we do. And our divine does, and our higher power does. The universe is ever connecting, and that just really helped me to know that anything that I was doing alone, it was not a secret at all. I also learned that we're not supposed to put people on earth or things on earth above our higher power. Now, your higher power doesn't expect you to pick anything in particular as your higher power. You can pick a cloud. The point is that you just have to kind of have something in your life that is unseen and untouched, that is kind of a mystery that you can believe in, that's larger than you, that gives you joy and hope when you think about it. The reason why you have to do something that's invisible is because it can't be taken from you guys. If you put your higher power in your relationship, you guys could go through a breakup. Hi, honey. And honestly, it's the same as, if you say that if you say this comes first, this comes first, then what's going to happen if you guys lose your job? What's going to even happen if your children die? What's going to happen if anything happens, and you don't have a higher power that you can turn to for support and faith and hope? Then you're going to feel like your whole world is shattered and it's gone. And for some people, that's enough to break a person. When you just try to find the purpose and the reason for everything that happened, you look pretty, then it stops becoming a personal issue of your own, and you start to actually understand what the different things in your life were and what they meant to God for you, not to you, yourself. If you're somebody who believes that we're all down here for a reason, then you would know that we're down here to pretty much just kind of like be there for each other and operate. And we're pretty much supposed to be keeping things simple for the most part and enjoying life and loving each other and following some basic rules so that we can be productive in the most helpful and positive way. And a lot of people just get so distracted, you know, they think that they're here for this reason or that reason, and they're pretty. And they forget their purpose in life. They start walking the path of another, and they start getting involved in these relationships and these activities that begin to consume their time, and they don't spend time with their family or their children, and they just do all these other random things that their ego actually over time believes are more important than living. So when that happens to us, you know, that is when we do have tower moments in our life. It's when we have disruptions, and when you can't seem to put it all back together again. That's because your divine is ripping it apart. Right now, everything that you manifest is going to determine the direction that you go, because you've had realizations, and once you have realizations about the things that are in your life that are going on, it takes you to the next level, whether you want to sit where you are or not. You can't return to the unknown once you figure things out. And after you have discoveries, it's just one more opportunity of growth and to move forward. So if you're somebody who's had this realization lately, it's time to start actually working on that and focusing on understanding that. This is going to be the first step for some of you guys, that you don't blame other people for what happened in your life. Some of you guys are just figuring out this week that anger is a secondary emotion, which was a big deal for me. And you guys might look that up today and figure out what the underlying emotions are, and if any of them resonate with you guys' feelings. I know I did. I felt shame, I felt guilt, I felt pain, sadness, regret, I mean everything. But it most certainly wasn't, I was feeling angry, and I was acting, angry, but underneath, I was sad. I was disappointed. I was all these other things, And I guess, when you really break it down, you're going to realize that you are smart, and you do have the capabilities and the potential to make your life anything that you want it to be. If you're so smart to sit there and tell everybody not to tell you what to do, then why can't you make your life better? It's either one or the other. You either need guidance or you don't. You don't get to just do what you want and then tell people to leave you alone. You got to make a decision, basically. Some of you guys are at that part in your life where you're going to decide, do you want to stay here or do you want to move forward? And part of moving forward is not just getting out of where you were. It's understanding why you were there and how you got yourself into it, because you can't move forward without making the same mistakes if you don't understand what happened in the beginning. You guys are trying to understand something that you're also trying not to figure out. You guys want the answers from all these other people around you. You're demanding justice. You're demanding answers. You want explanations. You're smart enough to know that they're all inside of you. All of your answers that you're seeking out from other people are inside of you. And you already have the answers, and you've already been given the answers. That's what I just heard. You've been given the answers already. You just don't want to hear the truth. And that's just your ego piping in, you know what I mean? Because it probably doesn't want to have to give up the different things in your life that you use as a clutch. It's time that you just start taking the power back over your life and your mind and ask yourself, which part of you is in charge? Is it the part that's strong and really does truly want a better life and will do whatever you need to get there? Will you sacrifice the things in your life that are not healthy for you? Or is it the part of you that just talks about wanting a better life but doesn't plan on putting the work in? At this point, like I said, you guys are certain that you do have the capabilities and the strength and the courage and the wisdom and the knowledge and the support to move forward if that's something that you truly want. And there's a lot of times that we talk all this talk about wanting this and that, and then how many times has it actually been offered to us? And it's kind of surprising because we're not expecting it. Most of us are not actually surrounded by people that do help us out or that we can be there for or be there for us. But this is going to be different this year. We're going to be learning a lot more this year. We have different people in our life. We're not surrounded by people that aren't going to notice when we're feeling down. And they're also not going to let us get away with it. And those are the type of people you need surrounding you. If you're somebody who's avoiding people who know you for who you really are, the ones that call you out when you don't look right or when you don't feel good, the ones that would notice, then I just want to let you know that God's sending other people into your life. Different kinds. Ones that you're not going to really recognize at first, but you will become close to. And this person will know when you're feeling down, and they will be there for you. Some of you guys are going to get involved in groups and start going to different meetings and expanding your social network. And you're going to meet some people that you're going to find you just feel really close to. And some of you guys haven't had friends in a really long time like here. And I feel like you're going to actually start to feel like this person is a good friend for you. And that's where your beginning of your new trust journey will begin. So I'll leave that at that, you guys, and I hope you guys have a good morning.